toasting, joking too. Sipping and roasting is what we do. Light 'em up, drink 'em down. Whiskey and cigars all around. Cheers, y'all.
Well.
Sounds like a party just about to happen, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this fine radio program, podcast, and video extravaganza known internationally as the world-famous Smokin' and Toastin'. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars, and amazingly, we're up to show number 496 this week.
That puts us mathematically almost exactly halfway to 500.
So it's good to know. We'll get there soon. I'm very excited about it. We don't do a lot of math on the show, and when we do, it's usually wrong. We are excited about today's show. We're going to talk Sigua Cigars, and we're going to talk overlooked American whiskey. Some things you might be missing on the shelf that you maybe should know about. And because we like to add urgency to this, we're going to basically call that overlooked American whiskey you should be drinking right now. Yeah, because that's what gets clicks. So that's what we're after. We're all about the clicks. Please welcome our special guests from Sigua Cigars, Mark and Brian. Mark, welcome to the show, and Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Notice their incredible enthusiasm at being on Smokin' and Toastin'.
I was noticing their chill while they're smoking a cigar.
That's the thing. So we're in the studio today, so we're not able to join you. But I will say I did enjoy a Sigua cigar very much yesterday and made some notes about what I was getting out of all of that. So we'll talk about
I have my notes right here.
We'll talk about that. Sigua cigars are unique because the tobacco and the construction, or at least some of those things, we'll let you guys elaborate, come from El Salvador, which is not a place that has historically, I mean, it's in the same region as many of the most, successful and popular tobacco-growing countries, but it's not one that we've heard a lot about.
You guys are the first cigar brand out of El Salvador, correct?
That's correct.
That's pretty fantastic.
It's the first cigar in the that we know that is grown out in El Salvador.
And so are your cigars actually rolled and assembled in El Salvador?
That's correct.
And what percentage of the tobacco that's in them is Salvadoran tobacco?
100%.
Oh, it's a puro.
So it's a puro. Well, that's what makes it amazing to me when you're smoking this. You're realizing you're getting tobacco that's grown in soil conditions and weather conditions that are completely different, or at least somewhat different. There's some similarities, obviously, too.
And the volcano. I assume there's volcanic involvement because of the band.
That's one of the things. Yeah.
El Salvador is the most volcanic country in the region, so that provides a lot of interesting notes to the tobacco. So we are the first brand, the first premium cigar out of El Salvador in the history of El Salvador. So we have a bunch of awesome
no
news
pressure,
to let you guys know about that.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting to me is that the volcanic soil thing, I mean, that is looked at as creating, if you talk like Nicaraguan tobacco or tobacco from some of the other regions that we're more familiar with, the more volcanic that the soil has, you talk about Ometepe region tobacco and some of that, considered to be some of the richest and most interesting in terms of flavors based on what happens with that more volcanic soil. So it's always interesting.
It makes for a cool band around the cigar. I love
yes,
that
it does.
The cigar
well,
band.
and that's one thing about Sigua is that band is like you look at it and you're like, I want to go there on vacation. Can I? Right. So we'll ask you guys some questions, and some of them we may have asked the last time you guys were on, but we might ask them again, just about the difficulties of doing a puro from a country that basically is kind of new on the map for premium cigars. So we'll talk about that. We'll get very excited to go in depth a little bit on that because that's interesting to geeks like us. Speaking of geeks, we're also beer geeks on this show, and we'll be trying, I think, some very interesting beers today. Yes. By the way, I saw, and now I'm not going to remember it. Brain farts are a bad thing, and they happen more when you get older. But I was reading something about the person that coined the term nerd. Oh, it was Dr. Seuss.
Was it really?
Dr. Seuss came up with the word nerd.
Wow.
According to something that I was reading. And of course, Dr. Seuss was kind of awesome. So,
By the way, no one pronounces his name correctly, right?
What Theodore Geisel or are you talking about just Seuss? So what?
Zeiss.
Zeiss. Is that how you say Seuss?
Yeah.
So all this time we've been saying Dr. Seuss, and it's Dr.
He
Zeiss?
just went with it. No one has ever pronounced it right. He just went with it.
Wow.
That is almost like that's a big deal.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to say, if people are buying the books, you just roll with it. You can call me whatever you want, Dr. Susie Face, Sissy Puss, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go cash this check.
Well, exactly.
Yes, ma'am. That's
One
my
fish,
name.
two fish. Here's some hundreds. We'll be tasting some beer today from Mexico City and the Charro Brewing Company.
Oh,
we'll be trying their Mexican Pilsner.
Interesting.
Today. Yeah, so a little switch up.
We don't usually get beers from Mexico. That's really
what I
cool.
think will be interesting is comparing this to at least what we remember of. Brands like Modelo and other beers that are Mexican made. So it'll be very interesting. And then we're going to do something today that I'm so proud of because we usually do not align things well on this show. For example, if we're doing a show about, great whiskeys under $30, will we be sampling one of them on the show? No, we'll probably be sampling a rum. Yeah. Or a tequila maybe. And so you can understand why we might have waited until like around Christmas time to do this beer. It's from Saloon Brewing, and it's a Texas Coast IPA called Crank Dat AC. So normally we would wait until midwinter to do that, but today the stars have aligned.
Wow.
We're doing it at the perfect time because I don't know how it is where you guys are, but here in Houston, Texas, we're in the hundreds this week. So it's like yikes. Yeah, so time for a Crank Dead AC Texas Coast IPA.
But the nice thing is the heat index puts it in the 100 teens.
Yes, that's
it may only be 102, but it feels like 114.
Yeah, 116 the other day.
That's important information that I really didn't need to know. Yeah. What's that?
That's perfect timing on the beer.
Oh yeah, so I'm really excited. I have high hopes for this one. And finally, a beer that I think I will really enjoy, but I doubt it'll be up Ian's alley. It's Evil Twin Brewing's Great Northern Series 58. It's a barrel-aged barley wine.
Oh,
I know
come on,
I know that's not your thing, so...
yeah, of course.
It's summertime. You're going to be floating down the river.
That's the sound of facetiousness, by the way.
You're not looking for a big old barley wine. Evil Twin Brewing's out of New York, and we're excited about that.
For those of you not familiar with me, I will drink a barley wine floating down the river. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Whereas most of us
don't know the concept of a summer beer and a winter beer.
Yeah, most of us are looking for something light and crushable, and Ian says, I'm looking for something light and crushable, too. I'll take the barley wine.
That's right.
So it's only like 18% or something like that. And then Ian brought a bottle of Four Roses. This is a Four Roses Barrel Select. Is that what that is? Mm-hmm. And so I'm
single barrel.
Single barrel. Yeah. So what's interesting about that is that this will be slightly different than any other Four Roses single barrel you might get your hands on, unless it came from the same barrel.
Well, the beauty of the single barrel, and they always have the series on it. If you look in the front, you'll see this on Makers, especially like Makers 46 and some of the other ones. But you'll get the hey, this is what mash bill it was, and this is what barrel it was. But the nice thing about it is you can get one of these off the shelf. It's always going to have some variations.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that. You still get that same, like it's going to be good like Four Roses, but it's going to be a little different. A little something different.
I'm excited about it because Four Roses is one of my absolute favorite brands when it comes to bourbon. So very excited about that. We'll also do the most popular segments here on the show. We'll do the Drunken Fact in here in just a few moments, actually. The Drunken Fact is where we bring you something that we know to be true. It's a fact or a factoid. We know it's true because we got it from the internet, and it's something that you can, remember. And then the next time you're at a party, people are drinking, getting a little loose, you want to come across like someone who knows things, you can drop this fact on them and people will be very impressed. And they'll be like, wow, he knows stuff. So our teaser headline for the Drunken Fact is... I'm sorry, you want me to cut off what? I just saw a flash. Was that you, Terry?
That was me.
That was okay. Very good. We also have a teaser headline for Drinking News, the most popular segment on the show, which we do in the second hour of the program. And our Drinking News teaser headline for today is: do not invite great grandpa to Thanksgiving dinner. Perfectly timed because it's almost Thanksgiving, right?
Almost
like
Thanksgiving.
I said, we get there. So just want to mention, by the way, before we go any further, we are expecting to get our hands on any day our first bottle of the Smokin' and Toastin' O.H. Ingram barrel pick. We're really excited about this. It was chosen unanimously from 5 different.
I can hardly contain myself.
Yeah, and there won't be much containing the whiskey when we get it in our hands because it'll be going fast. So we're excited about that, and a lot of
we had 9 people on that panel, and
was it 9? Wow,
all 9 people
chose the
chose the same one as number one.
And it was like we told everybody, write it down, and when we come around, tell us what your number 1 and your number 2 was. There were disagreements on number 2. But everybody picked the same.
Well,
number
the rules for picking it were simple. Write down what your number 1, number 2 is. Then we'll all sit around and talk about it. Then I'll crumple up everybody's paper and tell them which one I'm going to have.
But in this case, everybody
But
agreed
it happened
with
to
you.
all align.
Yeah, right. The stars and the planets aligned wonderfully. Terry has been sniffing his.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd forget that
Beverage of
part of the
Mystery
show today. Just
So
go
let's-
ahead. We already did that.
I think we got time to squeeze it in here before the
dang.
end of the segment. So, and now.
The Beverage of Mystery.
So, first of all, I want to apologize to Mark and Brian from La Sigua. Because you guys are on Zoom, we can't actually get a cup of the Beverage of
I
Mystery
think you got
to
the
you.
apology wrong. You're supposed to apologize to Ian and Terry.
Okay.
Tell them you're welcome.
Now, look, Terry, you're already angling towards the negative here, and I'm not sure you should
This
do that.
smells horrific.
It smells like a tire
So
fire.
the Beverage of Mystery is where one of us will bring in a beverage, sometimes a seltzer, sometimes a canned cocktail, sometimes a beer, sometimes Malort, and the only person who knows what it is the person what brung it. We try it sight unseen, and then we do the big Beverage
This
of
smells
Mystery
like
reveal.
lemon cleaner that fell into like your belly button or something.
I also get like coffee grinds or something that are
Like
in there.
the way coffee grinds smell
Like
when
in
you
the trash
dump them in the
can? Yeah,
trash can,
exactly.
yes. And then combined with like eggshells and other stuff you've got in
That's
there.
the wrong side of the coffee grinds.
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
Hey, aren't there
coffee
people that
grind.
put eggshells in their coffee grinds?
Yeah.
Yes, well,
It's
that
one of
was
the reasons-
filtering back
It's one of
in
the
the
reasons
day.
I like making tea because the tea bags don't smell bad when you put them in the trash.
That's right,
Yeah,
that's
but
right.
coffee, yeah.
Oh, this.
Yeah.
Speaking
oh.
of teabag, this smells like it's been teabagged.
Yeah, I think you're probably
Oh,
right.
this
Is there a
You gonna? Am I gonna be able
Is
to
there a
convince
fruit
you to
flavor
take
in
a
there?
sip of
This
this?
is a tough one. I mean, it smells like a little bit like floor cleaner too.
Is there supposed to be a peach or something in there?
Apology of something.
when I drink it, I kind of wish it was floor cleaner. Oh, Ian's. I hope the camera was on Ian for the face he just made.
yep.
Oh,
Was
man.
it? Okay.
It was.
Good. It's worth,
Okay.
by the way, if you normally listen to us on one of the radio stations or the podcast without video, this one's worth going and checking out the video on YouTube because Ian's face is worth
Okay.
everything right there.
I'm going to take a left turn. This is fun.
That was a meme-worthy face right there.
Yeah, this is fun. I know that y'all
What?
are gonna shoot me for this, but this is fun.
Fun as in you like it?
It is not as bad as I thought the smell was going to make it taste.
The nose is so bad. I don't know, man. That first sip was pretty horrific.
It's like a sour, so it just hits you in the mouth like some sort of candy, and then expands, and then goes bam.
You have
It's like eating Pop Rocks.
Look, I just have one question.
Yeah.
Is that a beverage of mystery in your pocket, or are you just happy to be here?
Well, since I'm the only one who knows what the beverage of mystery is, I guess it's time for the big reveal because I am the person what brung it, and yes,
He's still drinking it.
Yes,
no, Terry likes
it.
it.
It is not bad.
Terry,
I'm
this
here.
is why we have Terry on the show. It's for dissenting opinions.
I
right?
am here.
Yeah.
I am here on this. It smells like a tire fire, but it is.
You
not as
guys
bad.
are enjoying from Go Brewing a non-alcoholic salty AF Chilada with sea salt and real lime.
Wow.
Okay, well, I get the lime.
So
Yep.
several weeks ago, we had one of their IPAs, a hazy IPA that was non-alcoholic.
That was the one that tasted like water.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and this one does not taste like water.
No.
So I think what you're liking, Terry, like in all honesty, is the salt. Like I think
Is the salt
is
and the
appealing
flavor.
to you.
It
Yes.
just says malt beverage with sea
Yeah.
salt and lime.
Yeah.
That's it. Water, barley,
Generic malt
maize,
beverage.
hops, yeast, lime, salt.
I figured since we're going to be trying a really big barley wine and some single barrel Four Roses, which I'm guessing might be a little higher proof. I thought we should start out with a non-alcoholic beverage.
I will say the artwork is awesome.
Yeah, I will give that to them. I understand what Terry's getting at. There is a little bit of pleasantness here.
Kind of
to
fun.
me, it's kind of the salt and sort of tartness, but it's really hard to get around. It's like if you added delicious saltiness and tartness to Lemon Pledge. Is kind
I thought it was going to taste like it smelled, and that was going to be bad. That was going to be bad.
It may not taste like it smells, but it's still bad. Yeah, it's still bad. But look.
Oh.
Credit to Go Brewing for trying to do some different things with non-alcoholic beer. I will give them that.
That is very similar to my soul. It is bitter and unapproachable.
I think that is probably the best description of a beverage of mystery of all time.
I'm working on self-awareness.
All right, we got a lot to do, a lot to talk about on today's show. La Sigua Cigars, of course, and Mark and Brian from La Sigua are with us. Plus, we'll be talking about overlooked American whiskey and maybe some beverages of mystery you should overlook as well. We'll be right back. It's Smokin' and Toast.
We're going to put that far away from me.
Welcome back. It's Smokin' and Toastin'. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. We're so glad to have you on to talk about all of those things. We're heard every week on great radio stations around the country, like KWAM, AM 990 in Memphis. We welcome Memphis to the family here for Smokin' and Toastin'. And our guests, Mark and Brian from La Sigua Cigars, you guys actually found out about us by listening to the radio where you guys live. Where are you guys located?
We're in Charlottesville, Virginia, so right by UVA. So, we were put on to you guys by somebody that we're friends with being like, you guys should reach out. So we were really excited to be able to touch
Glad you did. It's been just a little over a year since you guys were first on the show. It was not last, but April before last.
Yeah.
When you guys were on.
And we talked about it a little bit then, but I really kind of want to get back into this. You guys have produced the first line of cigars to come from El Salvador. How difficult was it? Because there's not like anything established already in that country about exporting cigars. There's nobody you could sort of pattern it after, use as a mentor. How difficult was it to even go through all of the legal things you had to go through?
I mean, you're paving all the roads.
Yeah, to be able to do that.
I'll let Brian speak to this, but the short answer was very hard. Brian has done a fantastic job getting through all those hoops, so I'll let him speak to that.
It's been a long process. So far we've gotten really far, which we're very happy. But it is like going to El Salvador. How it started is I'm from El Salvador. My grandfather produced tobacco out there, and going out there and not being able to find a cigar made in El Salvador was like very disappointing. So, but going through a process to start one is, first of all, we don't have the packaging, we don't have the, what's required, the molds, everything that's required to process a cigar wasn't out there.
Zero infrastructure.
Yeah. So and through the legal side was. There's a lot of restrictions on tobacco out there, but being categorized ourselves with cigarettes as opposed to there being a separation of cigars and cigarettes. So, we did have to figure out, packaging required out there in order to sell it, who's going to approve it, going through different government offices trying to figure it out, and I think it took us a while, going back and forth, but we finally were able to get it. We got the permits, we got everything in order, and it was a difficult process.
Were there things about Salvadoran tobacco, characteristics of it that you were able to discern and say, we got to get this out so people can try it? What were the things that made you say, people are smoking cigars from the DR and Nicaragua and Honduras and Ecuador.
Mexican.
What was it that made you say people have got to try this tobacco?
So people in El Salvador are super prideful. So I think, at least from my standpoint, it was more of the cultural thing. We wanted to put El Salvador on the map. We knew that they could produce an incredible product. So that was kind of where we started. The whole journey has showed us that not only do they do an incredible product, they do an absolutely fantastic product that is very unique. As you guys can attest to, the flavor profile is very unique compared to other products that are even pretty closely located geographically. So I'd love to hear your guys' flavor notes on that.
Yeah, Ian, what did you pick up on the Sigua cigars that you have been enjoying?
So right off the top, the nose on this, this is the light Toro. Mm-hmm. Yes, that you sent me. The nose on it, I got some classic tobacco, barnyard, and a sweet, creamy kind of cappuccino nose. Now, that's not very unusual, but when I used the V-cut to open it up, I got a real sweet, creamy, nutty, and earthy note that really, it was very rich. And it's while you'll get some of those flavors in other regions, you don't generally get all those flavors in one thing. And that was an interesting part of it. The first third of this, I got sweet, nutty, and woody notes with a little bit of white pepper is what I was getting there. And then an overall kind of bit of leather that was really nice. It's and there's a rich earth underlying this whole thing and a little bit of minerality. So to me, it felt like the best parts of somewhere like Honduras, where you have that rich earth,
right?
And you get that nutty and mineral side, like almost like from the Cuban cigar, kind of feel. And there's and these are just the things that I know to compare it to. But if you took those two things and kind of put them together, this is where your cigar seems to live, and it's a very nice place.
And that might be just completely, if people don't know too much about Salvador, it's the smallest country in Central America, but by square feet, it has the most volcanic surroundings around it, by square feet. So, there's great, I know you guys are not coffee drinkers, but there's great coffee being produced out there just because of the soil itself. So we wanted to get something unique and different, and we knew there was rich soil out there.
There's a really wonderful kind of a toastiness and a nutty vibe to these cigars that I particularly enjoy. It's not being somebody who really drinks coffee, but I've had enough coffee to know that this is something that would pair with a cup of coffee just really nicely for a morning cigar. And at least that of the lighter one, the one that I smoked this week. We'll talk a little bit more about this as we go, and we also have to bring you the drunken fact because we haven't done that yet. So we'll do that next, and we'll get into a little bit of beer tasting, some Mexican lager next on Smokin' and Toastin'. Nice. Welcome back. It is Smokin' and Toastin'. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. Is that the bottle cap you're showing off there? Yeah. Kind of cool. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that one of the things that one of the biggest things I noted about the Sigua cigars is there's a real richness and earthiness to the tobacco, but it is not as peppery. I smoke a lot of Nicaraguans, and it's not as peppery as the Nicaraguans, so it's a little more accessible for somebody who's learning cigars, just getting into them. And I think that's even though I can enjoy a good pepper bomb, that's not everybody's cup of tea when it comes to cigars. And so I love the fact that you guys were able to get kind of a mellowness and a smoothness, but that still had this rich earth to it, because that, to me, that's one of the signs of a really good cigar is being able to feel like you can almost taste the soil in a positive way. You know what I mean? Like the minerality and the qualities that make that soil rich kind of get transferred to the tobacco.
Also, neither one of us has talked about this part of it, but you have a cigar that has pretty big flavor. Like the smoke production's pretty big. The mouthfeel of the smoke is nice.
And by the way, the burn was great. My ash held on forever.
Same with mine. And all of those things are happening, but at the same time, you're still living kind of in that space between mild and medium.
Right.
As far as the actual strength of the cigar. And that's, you don't like the cigars that are really big flavor yet still mild to medium. That's a very short list.
Absolutely. And I think but I think that's really important because as somebody who, as I've smoked cigars over the years, has, enjoyed stronger and stronger ones, when I go back in terms of strength, the number one thing I'm likely to miss is just the abundance of flavor. Sometimes when I smoke a mellower cigar, I'm not picking on Macanudo, but Macanudo makes some really nice mellow cigars, but they're not always as flavorful as what I'm looking for because I'm used to smoking, heavier cigars. And with La Sigua, what I'm getting is a real abundance of flavor, even though it's more like in the medium or mild to medium space, at least, again, based on the ones that I smoked. Now, when we talked to you guys last time, April of last year, I think it was, I believe your cigars were just getting ready to hit the market. Am I remembering that correctly?
So that was the goal. Right. As you guys mentioned, the legal process and import-export stuff has taken a while. But we were excited to announce with you guys on your podcast that as of this week, we are officially available in the United States.
Well, so that is exciting.
This is our official grand mentioning that we are available in the United States. We do have the link on our website, lasigua.com. We're working with an online retailer, and we also partnered with John over at Flor del Cafe. That was the coffee that we sent you guys. He's been our first actual retail partner in the United States. He's done a fantastic job. He's been great to work with partnering the cigars with some coffee. So he's in Texas. So we've been having a great relationship with him. But as of this week, we're officially available online through our website. So feel free to come check us out on there.
Hey, you know what? Just real quick.
There you go. Yeah, I love it. See, that fanfare is reserved for very special things. Usually special things like the Drunken Fact, but it's it's still very special and near and dear to our hearts.
When you make an announcement like that,
we
you
don't
get fanfare.
we don't offer it up like that.
We talked a little bit about it off mic, but when the package came in that had the cigars, it also had a bag of coffee in there, and that's who you're talking about from there.
Yes, sir.
And what's the irony of that is the three of us are not all big coffee drinkers. I do appreciate a cup once in a while.
Yeah.
But my wife was eyeballing that bag of coffee pretty hard, and she has been enjoying it so much. And I did. While I was smoking my cigar this morning, I had that coffee with that cigar, and it was very nice.
Very nice. And so, yeah. So I'm excited to come back to this in a few moments, but just so we make sure we get this out there correctly, if people are trying to find you online, spell La Sigua, and so people will know how to find lasigua.com.
LASIGUA, lasigua.com.
Just kind of like it sounds, but still, phonetic, spelling can really throw you off sometimes on the internet. It's amazing. I remember one time I was on the internet. This was a number of years ago, but I was trying to get to this site for a radio station I had heard about that called itself the Funky Monkey. So I was searching it on Google, and unfortunately, I misspelled it, and I wound up getting search results for the Spunky Monkey. You do not want to go to that site. I just want to tell you, stay away from it at all costs, especially on your work computer. Bad things can happen. By the way, I just wanted to mention this before we get into our drunken fact here. I came across something. When we talk to our audience, it has a tendency to be people who are, a little bit older. They're old enough to enjoy, premium cigars. Mm-hmm. They're old enough to be able to buy alcohol legally. That is who our audience is made up of. And sometimes when you have an older audience like we do, I mean, we're not like a Gen Z, a Gen Alpha type of show necessarily. But it's important that our audience doesn't get left behind in things like being able to talk to younger generations. And Terry, you've got kids, so that
Yeah.
helps you stay
I talk to them all the time.
But I just wanted to pass this along. This is a pro tip for those of you who want to talk to the younger generations. The phrase "Google it" is out.
Google it.
If you say, I don't know the answer, try Googling it. That basically immediately lets everyone know that you're old.
Blink, blink.
Right, yeah. So, you want to know what the new term is?
Hit me with it.
Search it up.
Search it up.
Search it up.
That's how you say it. If you want to go online and find out about La Sigua Cigars, just search it up.
Search it up.
Yeah, it can still be going on Google. It's not that people have a thing.
Oh, no.
With
They
Google.
still, yeah.
But using that as a verb is
how you say it.
That's a sign of the fact that
I
you're
loved
old.
when Zach Galifianakis said it in the Lego Batman movie. Probably worth a Google. Listening to after he listed all the bad guys.
I don't know that search it up is all that like
Search it up,
correct.
yeah. See, the thing is they don't search anything. They ask ChatGPT.
That's right.
They all use ChatGPT.
And these days
for
you
everything.
can just ask Siri on your phone verbally. You don't even have to type.
Yeah.
So that's Siri, what's the best La Sigua cigar? And she'll tell you. It might be
That's
according to some jamoke who wrote about it on the internet like me, but at least you'll get something, right?
Yeah.
So
Which one is fire?
Oh,
That's the other word.
Fire is this close to being over as a term. See, what happens is that as older people like you and I and Terry, as we adopt the phrases that the younger generation is saying,
As we pick up the vernacular,
they
as it were.
immediately become sus, as the kids
Uncool,
would
yes.
say. Yeah, they're
It is
uncool.
no longer on fleek.
Yeah.
To use a term from what was that? Wasn't that in Mean Girls? I think
it
actually,
was,
or something. Yeah. Exactly.
Terry keeps us young. I just want to point that out. He really does. We have poured a beer here, or Ian, I should say, has poured a beer. This is a very interesting one. I picked this up at the little shop downstairs in my building. It is a Mexican lager called Charro, and it's from Charro Brewing.
I've been doing research here, as you can tell.
Yeah. And I was curious to compare this to the Mexican lagers that we kind of already know, Modelo and Cuervo.
Not Charro,
Cuervo,
the singer.
No, not Charro the singer. Now you're sounding old. Charro hasn't been on television since Bob Hope died.
No, but you know what? She does stuff on like X and stuff. She
does she really?
does every once in a while. She'll be on there doing pretty much the same thing, just being 78
what was the thing
when
she used to
does
say?
it.
Tiki tiki tiki. Something.
It was coochie coochie.
Coochie. That's what it was. I said that and got expelled from like 8th grade, but that's a whole different that's a whole different story. Back to the Mexican lager, Ian. You've almost finished yours. Is this is this something you're enjoying?
It's if you haven't tried it, it's absolutely delicious. This is a well-made beer.
It really is. That's good.
And it has none of the things that would drive you towards putting a salt or a lime on it.
Is that a callback?
I mean, it actually has flavor.
Is that a callback to the bomb today?
Yeah, I think it is. Well,
doesn't need any kind of adjunct.
it is. It's quite good. In fact, I think this would stand up very nicely next to a Modelo Especial or better in my mind.
I will tell you.
Corona.
So my go-to, first off, if I go into a place and they have Corona, and they have what's the other one you just said?
Modelo.
Modelo's okay. I'll do them, especially a Negro Modelo if they have
Negro
it, right?
Modelo. Yeah, I can do that.
That's okay. But if they don't have that and they just have Corona and Dos Equis, I'm like, I'll have iced tea.
Yeah,
I literally.
Can I give you a suggestion, my friend? Stop going to Buffalo Wild Wings.
But B-dubs.
But Buffalo Wild Wings, I'm really lobbying for them to change their slogan to 19 beers and one good one. Yeah, I remember there used to be a topless bar that I would drive past every once in a while that said something like, "We have 19 pretty girls and one ugly one."
Oh, that was the one right there on Richmond
Diamond Club or something.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's right next to the Cellar.
Let me see if that's the right name. Let me look at my VIP
across
card.
the street from the former Velvet
Diamond
Elvis.
Club. Yeah,
Look at your
Velvet Elvis
your VIP card.
So Velvet Elvis was a famous Houston bar. It's a really cool place. but they apparently got either sued or threatened to be sued by the Elvis estate. So now they are the Velvet Melvin, which just isn't.
It's never been the same thing. It's never been the same
I haven't been back.
No.
I will
the vibe
admit.
is over.
Even when I'm like really close because I'm at the Diamond Club across the street.
Or BB's. BB's is good right there.
BB's will work.
At the Diamond Club.
Do we have time, Terry, to do the Drunken Fact?
Yes, we do.
Actually, then let's do it. You have to introduce us. So.
And now it's time for another Smokin' and Toastin' Drunken Fact.
So the Drunken Fact is where we bring you something that you can like stick back in the corner of your mind. Next time you're at a party, people are drinking, you want to come off like the guy that knows things. This is a good fact for you to remember. And today's is a little long, but stay with me because it's worth it. John Wilkes Booth was the man who killed Abraham Lincoln.
So we're going back a ways. Okay.
Yep. The man who killed John Wilkes Booth was a Union Army sergeant named Boston Corbett, a devoutly religious man who took the Bible verse, "If your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off," quite literally, as he is famously known for having used scissors to cut off his own testicles.
Oh, wait. Whoa. Okay.
Scissors. It's bad enough if you're cutting them off.
That's a level of hardcore I'm not even comfortable talking about.
Yeah.
What? No.
I mean, I'm personally wondering if a better translation.
Okay. What's the thing with these people that are doing this? Last week it was someone that cut it off and set it on fire and then ran away from it. Now the testicle removal, self-testicle removal back before they had lidocaine or any even topical anesthetic.
I think he felt like the Bible was telling him he needed to do this.
Wow.
Now, I would personally
go
with a better translation of that verse. I would say that verse should be translated something like, if a part of your body causes you to sin, make sure to cut off D's nuts. That's what I would. Can you imagine if it actually said D's nuts in the Bible? I would be at church every week. I'm serious. It would be a serious thing. Ian, this is a good beer.
It's really good.
It would be amazing on the beach. I have to say that when you said Corona, this would be absolutely amazing on the beach.
See, Corona has that weird taste to it, like that weird
aftertaste. Oh, it's gross.
Yeah, and this doesn't have any of that.
No.
This just has kind of like
tastes
malt
like
and
beer.
delicious. Yeah, it's amazing when people put out a beer that tastes like beer. We give them major kudos for that, and I think this is.
I mean, it smells like
worthwhile.
beer. There's no off notes at all. It smells like beer. I'm going
to admit, I've seen this on the shelf downstairs at my little grocery store that has a really nice beer selection. By the way, I've seen it there for like at least a couple of years. I've never bought one.
Very fancy. I'm assuming Hispanic mermaids.
Oh, are those Hispanic mermaids? Well, they must be because they have sombreros on. Next time you see, and I'm not kidding, that mermaid.
I'm glad cancel culture's over.
That mermaid right there has a sombrero on.
That's right.
Next time you see a sombrero on a mermaid, here's what you can know. A, you've probably had too much Charro. And B, that is probably a Latino mermaid.
That's how you tell the difference.
Yeah.
Sombreros.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like George Carlin used to say, there was not much difference between humans and monkeys except for hats.
I like that. My favorite Harry Carey story, the legendary sportscaster who called games for, I think it was Chicago Cubs, was he used to get drunk, and he would go on and do his baseball coverage. There's great audio of him somewhere. We'll have to find this where he's the camera pans to a shot of the crowd watching the game, and there's a little boy with a hat on. And he goes, "Look at that kid with the sombrero." It's absolute sportscasting brilliance. I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, take that, Chris Berman. You've never come up with one that good ever, and you won't. No
Chris
matter.
Berman will never be as fun as Harry Carey.
All right, I don't know how we got onto that, but there you go. If you're using scissors to cut off D's nuts, please consult a physician. Don't.
Jeez, yeah.
Don't. All right, we got a lot to do on this show, and we've done very little of it so far. We got to talk to Sigua Cigars a little bit more. We want to get into why someone would go to the trouble of releasing the first cigar line from a country that doesn't have any cigar lines, rather than just crossing the border over to one of the other countries that does and releasing some cigars there. But these guys have done it, and I think they're innovative, and I love the cigars, and we'll talk about it more coming up. Plus, we got Four Roses single barrel in our future. I'm a man with a future.
It's a beautiful thing.
I love it. We'll be right back. It's Smokin' and Toastin'. Nice. I would like to formally, once again, welcome our guests back to the show. It's Smokin' and Toastin'. We're all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And our guests are Mark and Brian from Sigua Cigars, and they have now just been able to bring to market the first line of cigars that were not only assembled in, but used tobacco from El Salvador. And I guess, guys, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but why? Like you mentioned it's like the smallest of the Latin American countries. You could have just gone right across the border and released cigars from a country where there's already some infrastructure supporting that. You chose to do things the hard way, and I think that's admirable. But what was I think you may have touched on it earlier about it being a sense of sort of national pride. But were there other reasons that you said, you know what, this is what we've got to do?
Well, there's a personal aspect where I like making my life harder on myself than I need to. That played into it a little bit.
Yeah.
But seriously, the national pride was a huge part of it. We could have just white labeled a product from Nicaragua or something like that if all we were into it was for the business and just selling cigars. But that's not where this passion came from. Brian growing up in El Salvador and El Salvador not being on the map for something as incredible as a product that they could produce, as we've been able to show. Right. That was really big for us, and we wanted to really put El Salvador on the map. So I think Brian wants to speak to that briefly.
Well, when two crazy people become friends, this is what happens.
Yeah, I get it. Well, so how did you guys meet? Like, how did you meet and get to the point where you're like, I want to do a cigar company with this guy?
That's
it might have been over a beverage or two, but we both moved into a neighborhood approximately the same time and never really chatted. I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I own a couple of companies, and I think people in the neighborhood are looking at me like, what does that guy do with his life? So Brian, and the first time we ever really met, I came over and we caught up a little bit, and he started talking about the pride that he has for El Salvador growing up there, and his grandfather used to trade tobacco back in the day, and how great fertile soil and all that kind of stuff, and kind of turned around and was like, why don't we do it, man? And that was where it started. He was like, what are you talking about? That seems crazy. And I'm like, that's what I do every day. And took a flight 2 weeks later over to El Salvador to start working on everything from there. So that was realistically how the whole story started, and now we're here. So it's pretty awesome.
This is like going to a place like El Salvador's never had this. This is building a heritage. This isn't even starting a company. This is literally building a heritage.
That was our goal. That was exactly what Brian wanted to set out to do.
So I never met my grandfather, but my grandfather died at a young age, but he used to trade tobacco in El Salvador. And I'm going back to El Salvador, always trying to come back was a gift to someone, especially a cigar. But I, many years going back there, and I couldn't find a cigar made out there, and I was like, why isn't there a cigar? There's great,
the land is there, yeah.
Land is there, and we're surrounded by other countries that make good cigars. And I was like, I think, we should try something different and bring something different to everybody else.
Well, as people who smoke a lot of cigars, and I always say it's part of the job, right? That's how I explain it. But as people who smoke a lot of cigars and talk about them, I love the idea of there being something that's different from everything that we've tried before. The soil is a little bit different. The production is a little bit different. And it adds a real variety to the humidor. And I love that about these cigars. They're not just I don't smoke them and go, oh yeah, this tastes just like a so-and-so. Like it's got its own profile and its own differences in terms of flavor in a really positive way. And I think that's
one
awesome.
thing that we really leaned into was the 100% Puro and all that kind of stuff, but not just from the rolling and the assembly and all that kind of stuff, but from the artwork, from the band.
I love the artwork on your band.
Our box, this is our box.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But talking about being different in a humidor, drastically different look than anything else you're going to see. So
honestly, it makes me think it's
standing out and being new and being different a lot. So we took all the nods from El Salvadorian artwork and worked with an art student over there to develop all of that. So it's very prideful to be able to put this on the humidors all around, not just El Salvador, but around the world.
Seriously, you guys should think about doing some humidors with that design on them because it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it really almost reminds me of like a cigar-based Avengers movie poster. You know, it just got that sort of, it pops like that. And I love it. You also mentioned being a serial entrepreneur. And I think that's really cool that you were willing to kind of like take a chance on something. There was no proven, there wasn't anything where you could look and go, well, this guy tried it and it worked, so I'll try it. Like you were really kind of jumping out in the dark and taking a chance on something that sounded really cool, but that hadn't been proven yet. I think that's awesome. And by the way, you know, the Smokin and Toastin show, we're always looking for benefactors. So if there's anything you would like to do to, buy us and take us to the rest of the world, you're a serial entrepreneur.
Hope to talk about it.
We're available to be acquired. I just like to say, and
I have a price. That's what he's saying,
right? And it's mostly in cigars. So we could cut a really good deal here. I'm pretty sure.
We're going to do a Smokin and Toastin in El Salvador episode.
We would love to do that. We
would
love
be
to come
amazing.
we would love to come down and see your whole operation. Now, I'm assuming you have, like a factory where your rollers work, and you had to establish all of this because it didn't exist in the country, right?
Yes, yeah. So I didn't really feel like I was taking a risk on the idea. It was more trusting in Brian, and he's went above and beyond being able to do an incredible job out there. Doing new stuff is not foreign to me, but doing cool stuff. My biggest argument is, could I really sleep soundly a couple years from now with the idea in my head that we didn't try to pursue? So I'm really glad that we pursued it. I'm glad that Brian has been my partner with this because he's done a fantastic and incredible job with every single facet that comes along with the company. And we're really happy to be able to bring this product to everybody. We're really excited for everyone to be able to try it.
And I'll tell you what, we're really excited to smoke it. So that it works out really well.
I'd like to hear.
It works out really well. All right, we are going to take a break. Ian has already poured this IPA, but we will get to it in the next segment because we got to take a break. You are listening to Smokin and Toastin. It's show number 496. We're still going to talk about overlooked American whiskey, including the one we overlooked last week that we were supposed to talk about and never did. So it's normal for my planning. For
it happens.
We'll be right back. It's Smokin and Toastin. Welcome back to Smokin and Toastin. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. Speaking of hand-rolled cigars, you can now get hand-rolled cigars from the country of El Salvador. The Sigua Cigar guys are here. They're on the show. They're excited and celebrating their full-fledged release of their cigar line. And you can find them online at lasigua.com, or you can just go to the Google and search it up. See how I did that? I inserted that just as if it were part of my natural vocabulary.
You blended two different generations.
I did. Wow. I did. This is what I'm all about, is pulling things together.
Intergenerational whiz. Riz.
Yeah.
You got the Riz.
It definitely hits different when you do it that way.
It's different.
Everything I do hits different. It's kind of giving confused older person.
Okay, now, older person, I'll give you the vernacular for that. It's unk.
Unk?
Anyone that, unk.
Oh,
yeah.
So I'm
and I'm talking like my 15-year-old daughter will call someone that's like 23-year-old unk.
Oh,
that's
I love that.
That's unk.
That's unforgivable.
Yeah, that's unk. Yeah, that's unk.
That's a very hardcore view of.
I want to get into. We have not talked. We've had several beers from this brewery, but we've not talked a lot about Saloon Door Brewing. Have you been there?
Yes.
And
number of times.
So I'm like a little jealous here. What is it like in terms of a place to hang and drink?
So the the inside is very nice. It's they have games. It's a very kid friendly kind of place. They have games. They have like foosball and I think darts, other stuff going on. I don't know. I haven't wandered around too much. They have a little outside patio that's a little sun-blasted.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
Although I think the last time I was out there, they had a pop-up.
Okay, so you had something to sit under and smoke
which was helpful,
a cigar.
yes. But so it's nice because then you can go out there and have a cigar and everything like that. But it's a cool place, and they always have some random things. I mean, they do some crazy random beers. You know, they have that whole Tasty AF series, Peanut Butter AF, Chocolate AF,
yes,
like all
yes.
the different ones like that.
Those are wonderful. We've had some of those on the show.
And so when you're there, you never know what they're going to have.
Yeah.
On tap, and so it's pretty fun, and also they have pretty decent food there.
I really like the name of this beer. This is a Texas Coast IPA that they named Crank Dat AC, and for those of us who are living in the United States, it's a pretty it's pretty good advice because it's hot right now everywhere.
Hot.
It's really hot everywhere, and so
here in
having
Houston,
a cold IPA
we
can be a
actually
wonderful
can
thing.
tell. Just by opening the window, we can tell when the humidity goes down by 2%, because then it just stops raining.
You are correct, sir. What do you think about this IPA?
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's pretty good. This is like a crushable. This is like a crushable IPA, and it's not also brutally hoppy. This is kind of a center lane kind of IPA. It's got the brightness that you would expect, and it's got a bit of bitter on the end, but not a ton. It's not.
So you're talking about this being crushable, but can you read that? Is that a 6.5 or an 8.5 alcohol by volume?
6.5.
6.5. So it's not exactly crushable.
Well, says you. It depends on. I mean, I'll drink it floating down the river.
Yes, I know this about you. I think this has been pretty well established in 496 shows, is that there is no beer too big for Ian to drink floating down the river. Yeah, you would be the guy that would buy, what is that Sam Adams beer that they release every once in a while?
Utopias, yes.
That's only available in a few states because it's illegal in others because the alcohol content is so high. That's an Ian floating down the river beer.
I'd do that too.
Yeah.
I have
I'm
tried
sure
that beer actually.
Yeah? What did you think of it?
It's interesting. If you're going to go into beers of that style that are truly enjoyable, I mean, Utopias is interesting and unique, and yes, you should try it because of what it is. But if you're going to go into beers of that style that you can actually just drink, I would say you've tried the 120-minute IPA.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
an experience. Like, it's a good beer, but more than that, it's an experience to sit and drink one.
absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Well, this is a pretty good experience here, too. I mean, I have this like image in my head of like when I was a kid sitting on the couch right where the window unit would blow on you, and you know, I wasn't of course drinking beer at that time, but if I were, this would be the right kind of beer to drink in that environment.
I didn't do this on purpose. I just kind of set up my living room the way it's set up, but I didn't realize right where I sit on the couch, there's a vent right there on the ceiling. When the AC kicks on, it's
right at you.
Right at you.
Yeah. That's
good.
Here in Texas, we call that planning.
Yeah.
We call it advanced
Feng
planning.
shui.
Yeah, feng shui. Thank you.
Texas feng shui.
No, this is really good.
It is good.
I'm pretty pleased with this.
Because Saloon Door just has fun. If you see Saloon Door, just try it. It's kind of like Belching Beaver or what's some of the other ones, like you see that name and you go, okay, that's going to be fun.
Well, Evil Twin is kind of like
Twin,
that, and
yes.
we'll be getting into an Evil Twin Great Northern Series 58 barrel-aged barley wine coming up, which again, Ian
that's
has
one of their
already
shorter
threatened.
names, actually.
No, I know. Sometimes they're the ones that have the longer names, and it's pretty interesting. Okay, so we should talk about this. First of all, last week, I do this so often on the show. I'll look through things. So what are we going to talk about this week? And I'll come across like maybe an article that would work. I'll be like, oh, this is great. It'd be a great title for the show. So we'll do a title like the $25 bottle of whiskey that's America's best straight bourbon, or we'll make it catchier than that, but that'll be the vibe. And then we'll do the whole show, and I don't ever talk about it. Like I don't ever read the article. So this should have been read.
One of
We
the
are
things,
clickbait.
one of the things we might even consider doing, but this would have to be like something considered ahead of time, which I know we're always doing.
Advanced
maybe
planning
even
is what our show is about.
Pick up some of those whiskeys.
Well, we probably should. In fact, I would really like to taste this one because I don't think
Are they talking about best whiskeys?
Yeah, we're talking about an article in Food and Wine that the headline is, "This $25 bottle is America's best straight bourbon."
Wild Turkey.
According to the 2026 International Wine and Spirit Competition. That's what I was expecting. Wild Turkey or Buffalo Trace is what I was expecting, right?
Wild Turkey, come on.
But they chose and gave the honor of the coveted gold outstanding medal to Willett Distillery's Old Bardstown Bottled and Bond. It was the highest rated straight bourbon at the 2026 International Wine and Spirit Competition.
Old Bardstown's
and
good.
It sells for about $25.
Old Bardstown's nice, but Wild Turkey 101, come on, man.
So you take issue with this?
Not particularly issue, but I mean, if you ask me, Wild Turkey is like basically the flavor palette of bourbon.
Yeah.
Like if you don't like Wild Turkey, you just don't like bourbon, because it is the quintessential, like, straight down the middle of the road bourbon.
It's kind of like Old Granddad. Like it's not the fanciest name, it's not the most prestigious thing, but the flavor is just solid.
Old Granddad Bonded is fantastic.
Yeah.
But and when I say it's down the middle of the road, I don't mean that it's ho hum. I mean it set the standard.
Right.
It is what bourbon is supposed to be. And so when you go, wow, this is a really good bourbon, I think technically you're actually comparing it to Wild Turkey.
Well, Willett Distillery's Old Bardstown Bottled and Bond earned a 98 out of 100 points.
I'm going to have to buy a bottle of that.
Yeah, we're going to making it the highest rated straight bourbon and the second highest rated American whiskey overall.
Challenge accepted.
And think about that. It's not just competing with other inexpensive bourbons. It's competing with everything. It's competing with like $100 bottles out there, you know?
Wow. Yeah.
So that's why something like this is, I think, notable and something that
now that's why
that
also Blanton's
at
$100 now is just no.
Yeah. See,
and I like Blanton's, but $100 not so much.
One of the things we love and enjoy doing on the show is tasting and bringing to you some less expensive options, because let's face it, it can get a little pricey to be a fan of a bourbon or a fan of tequila or a fan even of cigars. It can get a little pricey out there. Speaking of which, guys, we haven't asked you this, but what are your cigar? What's the general retail price of the Sigua cigars that we should expect? What's your sort of price ranges, I guess, is a way to ask the question.
Yeah, we wanted to make it attainable and for people to be able to try without hitting them in the wallet too hard. So we know comparable cigars command a higher price point, but we wanted to try to keep it on the lower side. So we're looking in the $14 to $18 range.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pricing something like that's a little bit challenging, because if you price it too high, yeah, obviously, okay, well, why is that price so high? You get suspicion immediately, right? But the problem is if you price it too low,
right? If you price
you
it,
will also get suspicion.
Yeah, if you priced it at $6, not only would you probably have a difficult time making any kind of a profit on it, but we might look at it and go, okay, they released a budget cigar, and that's not how you want to start. At least, I think. I mean, you might get to the point where you grow and you go, okay, let's release a budget cigar that uses a little less expensive tobacco and still is a good smoking experience. But if you start there, it's hard to crawl out of that cellar, I think, in terms of public perception.
And, for price, we don't have a high factory, big production, large scale production out there. So our price is a little bit, to produce it becomes a little bit higher.
Right.
You mentioned, El Salvador not having everything, so we've had to do everything.
Well, you don't have a factory that's churning out, thousands of cigars a week for 6 companies or 8 companies or whatever, and things like that. You literally had to build it up from sticks, right?
Was it hard to find like rollers and stuff like that in El Salvador, because that's not something that was already taking place there? You couldn't just go steal them from a competitor's, thing, pay them a little more and steal them away, right?
Yeah, no, we've had to, pull some people that had some knowledge and some consulting that we got from individuals. But yeah, I mean, we've also got a lot of people saying like, "Oh, this is not the way it's done somewhere else," and we're like,
Right.
"No, this is the way we're going to do it here in El Salvador." So even from the cutting of the leaf, everything from the crop is very, very different.
Are you running the farms yourself? Are you working with other farmers that are there and consulting?
Yeah, we're working with a farmer that has been, in the tobacco industry when, in a back many years ago, there was actually a tobacco company, not for cigars but for cigarettes. So these were older generation growers that know how to grow, and they had their style of growing tobacco. Now we had to kind of teach them how to do it with a different seed, but they want to continue doing it their way, like I'm gonna cut it like this, like don't worry about it. We're gonna wait for this kind of weather pattern, and very, very, very different. We're still using, they still use the bulls to do the crops and stuff. So
I mean, my hat is off to you because there's so many things you had to basically pioneer in a country that didn't already have this industry, up and running at the time that you launched the cigars. So it would have been a lot easier for you to launch a cigar in another country.
No,
But it wouldn't have had the uniqueness of being this, and I think that's really cool. So if in the future someone else comes into El Salvador and launches another cigar company, will you view that as like, hey, they're stomping on our territory, or will it be like, see, we validated El Salvador as a place that can do this?
we're
Little of both.
we're always open, for friendly competition. I would
Love
say.
it. Yeah, I love it.
But I don't know if anybody wants to go through what we went through.
Well, you've already paved the way, so you're the OG now,
That's
right?
right. That's right. All right, we got to take a break. We want to talk about this some more. We do have some Four Roses. Is this a single barrel? Is that right? Am I right?
Yep.
Four Roses single barrel to taste. Oh, I'm excited. This is a beautiful bottle, and it is calling to me in the night. We'll be right back. It's Smokin' a Toast. Welcome back. It is Smokin' a Toast, and our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. I reached out to Ian earlier in the week, and I said, hey, do you have a whiskey that you could bring onto the show this week? And when he told me it was going to be Four Roses, I got super excited. But I will point out that earlier during the break, he was taking off the cellophane wrapper, and I watched as he got a little cellophane cut in his hand. And this is why when I bring in a bottle of something, I have a tendency to not only remove that packaging from around the top of the bottle, but I also like to drain the neck of it a little bit.
So we don't have to worry about the spilling.
Right,
That's okay.
right.
I'm gonna actually talk to HR about it.
Okay.
So give me just a moment. Hey, Cruz.
Yeah.
I got a little cut on my finger.
Yeah. Tough cookies.
All right, so HR.
Hey,
I
HR
have some Bactine in my
I was
bag.
going to say Bactine and Band-Aids.
Thank
in the
you.
other room.
Do they still
a
even
little
make
iodine on
Bactine? Do they make
I
Bactine
don't
anymore?
know.
When I was a kid, Bactine solved everything. Mom, I think I got a concussion. Here, let me put some Bactine on your head.
Oh, you have an exposed bone? Just Bactine.
Yeah,
there
that's
you
right.
go.
You
Bactine.
got Bactine and Tussin. You got everything.
Yeah.
Clear it right up. So I didn't want to forget about this. So do you remember how much your bottle of Four Roses
I
single
remember
barrel cost?
exactly what that cost.
All right,
me.
tell me.
Somebody gave it to me for Christmas.
Oh, so if you were to buy it, what do you think that would cost?
Probably 60.
Okay, so 60 is a great price. I think we haven't tasted it yet, but I'm confident it's going to be worth it. But we do have a list here of because it was part of what we were supposed to share on the show today, and I didn't want to do 2 weeks in a row of missing the title. Right. So this is a list according to bartenders of the best bourbons under $50.
Did
so
you nose this yet?
while you're nosing this, let me tell. Ooh, that's good.
There's almost a little bit of a root beer nose to it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about there. Oh, when I was a kid, we used to go to the A&W. Remember the A&W?
Bubble gum. A&W, yes. Now they're part of Long John Silver's.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh,
that's
is it
just
really?
sad. Yeah.
You'll see when
I
you
used to
see
go
an
to
A&W,
Brahms.
it's Long John Silver's /A&W.
All right. Although I would love a really big root beer and just a tray of those crunchies that they put around the fish when you order.
Oh,
fish.
there's that.
Yeah. So here are the best bourbons according to bartenders in a study that was done and published on VinePair. Here are the best bourbons under $50 according to bartenders. I'll just read the list. You can chime in.
All right.
Woodford Reserve.
Solid.
Green River Full Proof Bourbon.
Never had it.
Larceny Small Batch.
Solid.
Smooth Ambler Contradiction Bourbon.
It has smooth in the name, so I'd never bought it.
Old Granddad 114.
Hells yes.
Wild Turkey 101.
Yes.
The Family Jones Ella Jones Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
I have no idea what you just said.
I want to buy it just because I love the name. The Family Jones. Doesn't that sound like it should be like
in downtown Houston, like at Jones Hall?
Or I'm thinking more like a 70s funk group that was like a side project for Sly Stone, the Family Jones with Ella Jones and our straight
Jones.
That
our
he also
straight
never
bourbon
showed
whiskey.
up to.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, there's that. Yeah, Sly Stone and Bjork. Book them, but don't count on them showing up. Buffalo Trace is next on the list.
Solid.
Four Roses is next on the list. Now,
Hells yes.
even though this is a more specialty bottle, just your standard old Four Roses is amazingly good.
Nothing wrong with that.
Amazingly good. Heaven Hill 7-year bottled in bond.
Oh, yes.
Maker's Mark.
Wait a second. 7-year bottled in bond. How much is it?
Heaven Hill. It's supposedly these are all under $50.
I was thinking that one was closer to 60, but oh well, either way I'd pay it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Maker's Mark and Old Forester to round
Oh
up
yes,
the list.
yes.
Yeah, so-
Old Forester will run the gambit too. There's a lot of Old Foresters.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all good, by the way.
Yeah. I'm just like looking at the pictures on this article, and I'm realizing I have a whole bunch of these. I should go home and drink whiskey.
Right?
Yeah. All right. So Four Roses, small batch, I'm sorry, not
Single
small
barrel.
batch. There is a Four Roses small batch. It's a different whiskey, and it is also quite good. This is the single barrel.
The small
It
batch,
is-
the small batch is different from the regular Four Roses, and it's very consistent. You can always get it.
Yes.
When you get a single barrel, you literally only get it till that barrel's gone.
Right. Which is kind of like what will happen with our barrel pick from O.H. Ingram.
Yes.
We only have one barrel, and when it's gone,
When it's gone, it's gone.
So we're going to tell you. I'm thinking by the time we speak to you next week, we may have a bottle of this in our
I've
possession.
got to buy a case of that.
You got to buy a case.
Got to buy a case of it.
You know, I've noticed this too. It's like, and look, we were approached by O.H. Ingram to do this. They did not charge us to do this, and we're not making any money off of this. Now, we might in the future buy a barrel and be able to, sell it and make a little money off. Nothing wrong with that. But the point is, I've noticed that most of my friends that I'm telling about this, they're really excited for us, and they're kind of expecting me to give them a bottle. Have you noticed that among some of your friends? Like, I'm like, come on, it's not that expensive.
I will explain. Like when I was in my 20s, and playing gigs and stuff like that, all my friends would be like, "Oh, put me on the list."
Yeah.
Get you in. There's a time you grow out of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know.
There's a time you grow out of that. You know what? Just pay for it.
I was on the radio for, decades, and the number one thing people would ask me about my career, a really interesting probing question is, hey, you got any concert tickets? Yeah. That was the number one thing.
Here's the thing. If your buddy is a plumber and you got plumbing problems, do you just not pay him? Like, that seems silly. Right? Hey,
Okay.
man, I'd love for you to do this if you've got time. Great, I'll come over and help you. Okay, I'm still paying you, right? That's the way it works.
I don't mean to interrupt, but this whiskey is outstandingly good.
This is only good if you like bubble gum and
yeah.
a little bit of root beer kind of spice to it.
And I know we've said this on the show before, but when he says bubblegum, he means the taste of those hard sticks of bubblegum that come with the baseball cards.
Yes.
That is the kind of bubblegum flavor that it has.
And this has a ton of that, especially on the retro ale. There's vanilla in here. It's got a little bit of spice, like rye almost. Like it's
kind of on the finish, right? Yeah, you get just a little bit of it.
This is like
Retro
if
ale.
you would have given me this and said this is a rye whiskey, I'd have been, it's
Yeah,
pretty close.
you're right. It's got a little of that pepperiness to it. It's got a little of the.
It's got a lot of oak too. Like
What's
the
the,
finish is oak all
What's
day
the
long.
ABV on this? It is 50%. Is that right? Am I reading that right? Is that 50%? I don't have my glasses on.
Yep, 100%.
All right. No, 50%.
No, 100% correct. It is 50%.
Okay, I gotcha. All right, more to talk about. La Sigua Cigars. A little more. I want to go in more depth on this Four Roses single barrel, but we have to do all of that around the structure of drinking news, which is next. It's Smokin' and Toastin'. Welcome back. It is Smokin' and Toastin'. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. The fine spirit in this particular case is a Four Roses single barrel. And I'm like really... one of the things I wanted to point out is how approachable this is as a whiskey. This is not something you have to be an absolute whiskey snob to be into. It's not something that's overproofed to the point where it's only going to appeal to the hardcore, whiskey fan. This is something that is not only approachable to just your average drinker, but it also has, it has enough complexity to it. It has enough going on that it's going to appeal to that more hardcore fan as well. I know you just put a little spot of water in those.
So there's a thing, for those of you out there, there's a contingent of people who will be like, oh, I can't believe you'd ruin whiskey with water. There is not a single distiller that I've ever met or heard of who would not tell you to open up their whiskey a little bit with some water.
With some water. And you just did that by pouring a little drop into this, and it did really change the flavor profile, but in a sort of it's a little mellower.
It gives it a kind of a silky mouthfeel too.
Yes, absolutely. And it's a wonderful thing. Now, I liked it before, but this, if I were going to be sitting and sipping this for a little while on the couch while I binge episodes of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, because I am a geek, I would be inclined to say let's do the drop of water.
I would do an ounce and a half to a 2 ounce pour, and I would put at least one medium sized cube of ice, not like a big bourbon ice cube. None of that stuff.
Because you're a cocktail guy, right?
That's right. That is when I put that ice in there.
That's two ingredients that
right
makes it a cocktail. Yeah, I understand.
And then what I want to do is I want to taste it while it gets cold.
Mm-hmm. And then when it warms up.
And then as it warms up and the ice dilutes it, it just gives you this whole ride of flavors, a whole experience.
I'm really enjoying this and thinking that I got to go buy a bottle of this. And this is one of the things that we continually try to hammer on this show, which is Smokin' and Toastin' directly influencing sales. Because I'm going to be stopping on my way home and seeing if I can find a bottle of this. So this is just absolutely wonderful. But we do have responsibilities on the show, and one of our responsibilities has become bringing you the now most popular segment, which just generally proves that people have no taste. It's a little something we like to call Drinking News.
Drinking news, drinking news. Now it's time for drinking news. A Florida man with one arm said he had a gator for a pet. When asked about his absent arm, he said,
I had to take my gator to the vet.
Oh, see, that was so nice.
Drinking news.
So nice.
Drinking news. Now it's time for drinking news.
It doesn't take much to make me happy, but that is one of the things that makes me happy. Plus your little, I don't know, what do you call that when you do that?
A flourish?
A flourish, yeah, your little flourish on the end. That was totally working for me. Well, before we get to our main story, before we get to our main story in today's drinking news, a quick word of warning for anyone who's been considering using one of those services that are available out there now to help you trace your family tree and learn about your heritage. You might not like what it uncovers. And of course, technology that these companies use to chart your lineage is much better than what used to be available for us in this space. Back in the day, about the only thing you could do to find out about your distant past would be to go to a psychic for a past life regression. And of course, whenever you get one of those done, you'll always discover that you were somebody fascinating.
My psychic called me. She said I wasn't going to be able to make my appointment next week.
I had that in a list of dad jokes that I knew about recently. Of course, when you get one of these past life regressions done, you'll always discover that you were someone fascinating in a past life, like Winston Churchill or Mozart or Joan of Arc. I've never heard of any psychic proclaiming to somebody who just paid them money for a reading, in your past life, you were Adolf Hitler. Or that guy that invented the Thigh Master. You know, and you never hear like that.
That was Suzanne Summers.
Did she invent it?
I'm just kidding.
I know she promoted it.
She promoted it. I don't know she invented it.
Let's put it this way. I don't know if she invented it, but I would certainly much rather have watched her demonstrate it than the guy that invented it. That's just me. You may
what
feel
about the shake
differently.
weight?
Oh, the shake weight is the best.
That's a whole nother story.
But, look, even though ancestry research can provide information about your actual family's past, the results, unlike past life regressions, just might be something you don't want to hear. And that's why we're sending our condolences out to filmmaker Sophia Maddox, whose Hollywood credits include Heart of the Wild Bunch and Saturday School. 2 movies I haven't seen, but they sound like movies, so I'm going with it.
They sound like movies.
Sophia has apparently always had questions about her family's past, including any information she could get about her great-grandfather. But now, those questions have been answered. A DNA test and ancestry research have revealed great-granddad's identity.
Is it Joseph Mengele?
Just imagine her opening up the envelope that would at long last answer this important question, only to unfold the page and discover that your great-grandfather was Charles Manson.
Oh.
And it makes us wonder, is there any such thing as ancestry research as a do-over? Can you go back and go, no, I'm sure this isn't right. Can we do it again?
Yeah, but in her case, I feel like that worked out all right.
Yeah?
Well, didn't she isn't she the one that's making a documentary now about learning that her grandfather was Charles Manson?
I think
so
you're right.
So she was a documentary. She was a movie maker, and now she has a documentary. So, like, if her father had been, like, just, nobody.
Fred Smith.
Yeah, Fred Smith or something like that. Or even,
the guy that ran the hardware store.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Or the guy that invented the doohickey that you hang pictures off the wall without a nail with or something.
Yeah.
The guy who invented Post-its.
By the way, those don't work. My wife sent them all back. But our main story on today's Drinking News takes us to the Grand Canyon State and the sun-soaked southwest vibes of Arizona. That is where an Arizona man is now, thankfully, fully clothed with a very stylish orange jumpsuit.
Hey, wait a second. My brother lives in Arizona. What is this story about?
Sedgwick County Sheriff's Office deputies arrested one Daniel Ray Balance.
Oh, so my brother's name is Daniel, by the way. That for a moment there.
So you had thought this was going to get uncomfortably close to home, right?
This is where I hear about it?
Daniel Ray Balance of Quartzsite, Arizona, was arrested last week after reports of a naked man surfing on top of a moving train.
This is naked train surfing?
Now, by the time the locomotive was stopped...
Hold on. Because here's the thing. Train surfing in and of itself is not enough. Mm-hmm. Right? We need to go one more. This one needs to go to 11,
take it to the next level. Yeah.
This one is like,
I mean, remember Teen Wolf when Michael J. Fox would do that on top of their cargo van? That's what, man...
By the time
they watched too much TV.
By the time the locomotive was stopped and authorities were able to reach it, the Arizona man had broken a glass window with a hammer to gain entry into the train itself, which raises several questions, not the least of which is, where was he storing the hammer while he surfed naked on top of the train? Just asking. Inquiring minds want to know. Be that as it may, officers found Balance fidgeting with all kinds of controls within the train that included blowing the horn and revving the train's engine.
I bet he was.
Sedgwick Undersheriff Scott
I'm
Bertel.
sorry, it's just every time I turn around, some button gets pushed.
Yeah, that's right. Sedgwick Undersheriff Scott Bertel, who responded to the call, described finding what he believed to be urine pooled on the floor of the cab, according to the affidavit.
Okay.
Because, as we all know, surfing naked atop a moving train with a hammer hidden somewhere on your person can make you really need to pee.
What?
Yeah. balance.
You should go before you leave the house on an adventure like that. Seriously,
You would think.
like
Now-
seriously.
You would think we should probably, because I'm not pulling this train over in 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
Now,
Said anyone who's ever had a dad.
I'm about to shock you with this next fact from the story. Balance told investigators that he'd been drinking beer and vodka. Yeah. The Arizona man remains jailed on a $5,000 bond and is due in court in a couple of days. Now, listen, as someone who has, at times,
Man,
been known to drink beer and vodka.
how serious does your judge have to be to not be cracking up while he's sentencing that person? Like, that judge he has to, like, either be one of those people who just is incapable of laughter.
Can you imagine the attorney saying, Your Honor, I'd like to introduce into evidence Exhibit A, the hammer, and the judge going, no, you cannot. I do not bring that nasty
We're
thing
not
into
going
my
to pass
control
this
room."
around as evidence.
Yeah, sorry, that's declined. Look, as someone who has at times myself been known to drink beer and vodka, I must confess that I've never been struck with the urge to take all of my clothes off and ride in my birthday suit atop a train for everyone to see.
Well, this was just training. His next step is an airplane.
Yeah. I say this because I know you'll sleep better tonight knowing this is something you will never likely have to witness. And so I can only imagine that it likely was not just the beer and the vodka that prompted the au naturel adventure in nudity, but that almost certainly something must have gone horribly wrong in this man's life well before he disrobed and climbed atop the last train to Chandler. That's a city in Arizona and a play on the name of a song by the Monkees, which I'm not really proud of. But hey, it's drinking news. So
I'm trying to remember the lead part for that song.
last train to Clarksville.
Yeah, but there was a guitar riff, right?
Yeah.
The Monkees had a guitar riff?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
That's it.
dude. Okay, so the guy that played all that stuff was Howard Roberts.
Yeah.
That was a bad ass guitar player.
Really? For the Monkees?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was
I know.
Davy Jones.
I can't associate the name Badass with anything that have to do
Dude, listen
with
to
the
their
Monkees,
music. Their music's
except for maybe that
killing it.
one song they recorded that Neil Diamond wrote. I'll give them that.
I mean, their music is killing it. They had the top songwriters and musicians of the time.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and
What
yet,
was that?
and yet they put out a TV show that was only marginally better than Lancelot Link's Secret Chimp back in the 70s.
Oh, I mean, the TV show was kind of funny.
Yeah. All right, we're going to agree to disagree on that one. Look,
Well, were you more of a Mickey Dolenz fan?
if I had to pick a favorite monkey, it would be Mickey. Yes,
That's what I was more of Peter Tork, you know.
Yeah. Who was the guy whose mom invented liquid paper?
Oh, that was Davy Jones.
Oh, yeah.
was Davy
No, it wasn't. It was one of the other ones. Anyway, doesn't matter. It was the Monkees. They sucked. Let's move on. Look, fortunately for me, although maybe unfortunately for you, our crack team of writers and railroad buffs here at Drinking News have been able to compile a list of these things that might have gone
I remember
wrong.
helping you out on this, yes.
Yeah, in order to help us better understand what could have prompted his junk-exposed joyride atop a moving train. And wouldn't you know it, we've shaped these thoughts into another of our highly derided Drinking News Top 5 lists, which I'm unadvisedly going to share with you now.
Can I just say that maybe his penis just needed the air miles so that he could get to the next level and do the airplane stunt?
Maybe. I can see that not necessarily working as a defense in court, but yeah, I got you. Look, this would be the top 5 things that probably went wrong in a man's life before he finds himself surfing naked atop of a train.
How did I get here?
Top
That's
5
a great
things,
movie starting point, right?
Top 5 things that probably went wrong in a man's life before he finds himself surfing naked on the top of a train. Here we go. Number 5 was widely mocked for his previous unsuccessful attempt to surf naked on top of a Cybertruck. Number 4.
Those things get hot.
Still hasn't gotten over the death of Bob Newby in the 2nd season of Stranger Things.
Bob.
That was totally for Terry.
That's Sean Astin.
Sean Astin. Come on, it was Sean Astin.
And Sean Astin, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, Gomez Adams' son. The original Gomez Adams from the Addams Family, that's his son in real life.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's his son in real life.
This is, by the way, this is why we have Terry on the show. It's not for his skills as a producer at all. No, it's totally about these random.
Am I recording this? Oh, yeah, that's
right. Number 3 is still waiting to receive his money from the Nigerian prince despite sending the advanced processing fee and his bank account information. Things that have gone wrong in this man's life, right? Number 2, his so-called friends have malorded him one too many times.
I'm feeling like I'm being poked over here.
Yeah, you think? And the number one thing that has probably gone wrong in a man's life before he finds himself surfing naked on top of a train, number 1, invested his life savings buying shares of Crystal Pepsi.
Oh, yeah. That would,
Crystal Pepsi.
Reporting
Crystal
live
Pepsi.
from you can tell I'm a child of the 80s, right?
It just looked bad.
Reporting live from a psychic's mobile home in Arizona, where I've just been told that in a past life, I was that guy at Decca Records who passed on the Beatles and said, guitar music's on the way out. There was a guy that did that, by the way. Apparently it was me in a past life. My name is Cruz, and that is your...
Drinking news, drinking news. That's our time for drinking news.
Cheers, y'all. All right, we are to break point here, and we still have a beer, actually a barley wine to taste. So we're going to do that in our final segment.
Wine.
Plus, just get a little more information about how you can get La Sigua cigars and why these should be in your rotation, in your humidor. We'll be right back.
I need a box of those.
Smokin' and toastin'. So, I just want to point out, I think this beer is going to be really good, but that may have been the most uneventful opening of a bottle and dropping of a cap ever on the show.
It was disappointing.
Nothing happened. It was
there's
just
no engagement sounds because it's waxed all the way up there, so there's no bottle clinking, right?
Yeah, just clink against the bottle with the... Yeah, there is actually
and
a
then
glass
when I
bottle
engaged with the lid, which also has wax on it, that's dampened.
It's wax
there was
on.
no pop.
It needs wax off. Wax on.
And
wax
then when
off.
I dropped it dropped right on
clapper.
the wax, so it just went kind of thunk.
Well, I just want to point out that the way I judge the success of any of the shows that we do, and we've done 495 of them prior to today, is when we get to the last segment, is there still stuff we haven't been able to taste yet? And like that generally means the show's gone well. And with the exception of, things like all the stuff Ian says, today has been a pretty good show.
It has.
I feel like the La Sigua guys are here. Their cigars are now available at lasigua.com, and you can find that by searching it up or by just entering lasigua.com. Notice how I keep coming back to the hip lingo.
Search it up.
That's right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna search it up myself and give me some.
I may be a little older, but I'm still in touch with the vibe of the kids.
Unctivities.
Yeah, until the point where until the point where they try to walk across my lawn and then they lose me.
That's it.
But that's a whole other thing. Ian, you've poured our final beer here.
Kids and you loud rock and roll music.
Dan Fogelberg.
I told you about this, right? When
Dan Fogelberg.
when I lived in the suburbs of Philadelphia, I had a house that was on a corner lot, and I actually found myself saying, "Hey, you guys get off my lawn."
I'm a little jealous of that, actually.
Yeah, it actually happened, and I was like, I don't know that I'm proud of it, but
some people
happened.
strive for it.
Ian, you're our resident barley wine lover. What do you think about this one?
I hope you like chocolate and raisins.
I like chocolate and raisins. Oh my!
I feel like it's got a little syrup on it too.
What do you call it?
And
Are they
maple
called,
syrup, yeah.
They're not called goobers or the peanuts. What do you call the chocolate covered raisins that you get at the movies?
Raisinets.
Raisinets.
Yeah.
Raisinets.
That's kind of what it is. It's like a liquid raisinette in the best possible
Covered
way.
in syrup.
Barrel aged 43 months in charred American oak. ISC barrels. I don't know what ISC is.
I can pull out a little of that charred oak though. Definitely.
Oh, the oak is there. This is such a deep beer Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like this.
Deep is good because there's so much going on here. Like, you get the chocolate and raisin right up front, but then like on the finish, there's just so much more going on here than just chocolate and raisin.
There are definitely things going on that you don't even know. The chocolate kind of morphs into kind of a like the classic bourbon profile. There's
I was just about
vanilla.
to say, I went back to the whiskey and wow, did that work? These two are made.
That pop, that was my arm.
Made to go together. Just absolutely wonderful.
The maple.
Yes,
oh my gosh,
maple.
That is delicious. The maple in there is huge. It's nose wise. I mean, you can almost smell the booze on it.
Yeah, you can certainly taste it.
Yeah.
And it's coming in at 15%. No, 13. Sorry, 13.2.
Yeah.
And it's a boozy 13.2.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound quite as big as it sort of tastes. It tastes more like a 17 or 18.
It is big. And the mouth feels outrageous. Like, this is...
And if you want to do something interesting, go to this Four Roses single barrel and then go back.
I did it. I almost got a wine
Barleywine.
taste for a second.
Yes.
I almost got a wine taste.
Absolutely. It's got just
taste.
a little bit of that, sort of skin of the grape kind of wine taste.
Yes. Yeah. I was not expecting it to be that.
Our guests today on the show have been
something I can't quite
Mark
name.
and Brian from La Sigua Cigars. Guys, elevator pitch. Why should people try cigars from El Salvador if they haven't tried them before? Give me your best reason to choose a La Sigua cigar.
Oh, I think it's the uniqueness, where it's made from, how it's made, not something, as you've tasted before.
This is not off the assembly line, that's for sure. Yeah.
Not off the assembly line, and it's not coming from any other factory. It's coming directly, purely made in El Salvador from completely off the ground new production.
How well are you guys situated for when this thing like totally blows up? Like when you're like everybody's going crazy for cigars from El Salvador, and like because starting a business like this, like you got to really think, okay, how many can we legitimately expect to sell? How much should we produce? We don't want warehouses full of unsold cigars. Like, how difficult is all of that to manage?
I think it's very difficult, and the first question is like, we're not ready if it does take off more than handle. But we talked about this. We don't want to become an assembly line cigar. We want to keep the uniqueness, and I think that's what makes it so different. It's just the uniqueness, how we make it, and we're very we think about the whole process, like being very organic, trying to make sure it's still using different old traditional ways of growing it. So, and I think that's what we want to keep, and we have pride with that. So yeah, if it gets bigger, I think we'll be in trouble.
So I realize you guys are just, really beginning to get these cigars out there. But when you look at the future for La Sigua, do you see really just concentrating on these core blends and series that you have put together so far, or do you see this as something that will evolve into more variations, more,
How many core blends do you have right now?
So, great question. About 3. We will have 2 of them on the market whenever you guys go to lasigua.com. Cruz, to answer your question, I feel like you can be a part of history by getting a hold of a La Sigua cigar, not just the history of El Salvador, but the history of cigars as a community. This type of cigar, the 100% Salvadorian Puro, has never been a thing before. So getting your hands on one of these, you're being a part of history.
Have you been getting a positive response from the rest of the cigar community on this?
Yeah, very positive. And the primary response we get is the flavor profile is hard to lock down. It's something new and unique
I agree.
experience.
It's a little bit in between. Yeah.
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 I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We've gotten some interest in expanding into a few other countries. So we have recently actually been working on expanding our production ability. So we're no longer produce 1 or 2 cigars here and there, obviously. Right. So we are able to produce more units. But just like Brian said, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We don't want to overproduce and lose out on the perfection that we require from our rollers and from all of our producers. We are really fortunate to be able to partner with 2 experts, tobacco experts over in El Salvador, both Boris and Holman. They've been incredible running our production over there, and we have Brianna has been doing a great job doing our day-to-day, running a retail shop over there. So we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but to answer your final question, we have so many different ideas that we would like to try, really reinforcing some of the flavor profiles that El Salvador can produce that nowhere else can, as well as tweaking some blends just to produce multiple lines that people can experience and enjoy from El Salvador.
So last question, but I think it's a loaded one. How difficult was it to navigate the political situation? Because when I look at Latin American countries, I'm already confused about, who we're bombing, who we're not bombing, what the, it's just, it feels like, exactly. It feels like it's just kind of like really up in the air with a lot of Latin American countries.
I think you got to spin the globe a little bit on the who we're bombing thing, right?
Yeah, well, you spin it and then you stop it with your finger and you go, oh, Greenland, okay. Anyway, but the point is, it's not the easiest thing, I would guess, to navigate the political waters that it would take just for you to do this business venture. How was that for you guys, and did you learn anything interesting while putting these cigars out?
Yeah, no. So I definitely want to answer this. So me growing up, in El Salvador and knowing the culture, El Salvador, people that don't know, it's really changed. Like, it was just like, we got a new president and he cleaned up, when I say violence and everything. So it became from, 80 homicides on a Saturday to 0.
That's great.
Or 1,000.
We can't even accomplish that in Washington, D.C., so no matter how hard we try, right? So I totally get it.
It's at 1,700 days without 0 homicides. So, the whole political side changed, more open to business, more tourism has skyrocketed.
Yeah.
So there's more people trying, wanting to try the cigar and something unique. What was difficult is bringing a cigar, which, like, government saying, what category do we put this in? Like, we've never had a cigar.
Right. Does it go in the cigarette category? Is it a separate thing? Right. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so we got to package it a certain way, and we also get high tax out there, which is, I think I like bringing that up. I understand it's, different product, but they still haven't categorized it correctly. But, that unfortunately goes into the cost of the consumer.
Right.
But it also, it's a unique product.
Well, guys, I just want to give you the most sincere tip of the hat. Doing that, you could have created a cigar company a lot easier than doing what you did. But I love your commitment to saying, you know what, there's something good here. There's something unique here that's going to be different and is going to introduce different flavors, different vibes to the cigar community. And I think it's awesome. And I think you have a very bright future ahead of you, regardless what direction you go after this, because you've established yourself as doing something interesting and unique.
Creating a legacy in El Salvador that has never been there before.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty amazing. You've broken that. No one else can do that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As a Puro over there, we take pride in being able to give back to the community there as well, being able to reinvest money into expansion, into hiring more people over there, and helping boost the economy in El Salvador. So that's one of the other reasons that we are doing it 100% in the country, because we want to give back to them as well.
I think you guys are like me a little bit in that you're probably not the guys who you only have one cigar that you ever smoke. It's the only thing you put in your humidor, that kind of thing. I love variety. I love to have so many different things. This is now going in my humidor as
kind of
a regular rotation.
Rounds out the
and
variety.
I love it. Like this, because it fits such a niche. It's such a creamy and sweet. There's a sweetness in your cigars that just kind of travels through. It's also going to be a cigar that I introduce people to, because when they only smoke mild cigars, this is going to be a great level in. Here, try this. This is big flavor in a mild cigar.
Right, exactly.
And this can even step you right into that medium area. Like I said, you guys are riding that gray line between mild and medium, and it's with your lighter cigar, which is quite good.
If you think about like all of the Nicaraguan cigar lines or Honduran cigar lines that we know and respect and appreciate, they all started with a core blend. And then they maybe did other things that kind of branched out from that. And I'm really excited to see what branching out will look like for La Sigua. And obviously, I might be getting ahead of myself here, but it'll be exciting when you guys come out with new blends, or maybe when you take your tobacco from El Salvador and maybe blend it with some tobaccos from other places. I could see that being so interesting from a flavor standpoint, and I love the whole concept. Love what you guys are doing,
especially when you guys do the Smokin and Toastin blend.
Yeah, that's gonna be the best blend you've ever done. I can just tell you right off the bat. Kind of like our barrel pick. That's gonna be like the best whiskey of all time
ever.
Yeah, I'm not just saying that. That's really going to be a thing. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for doing what you do, and thank you, and I mean this sincerely, for not just taking the easiest path. Because sometimes the what is the road less traveled?
Road less traveled.
It's what brings greatness, and I'm really
as Yogi
excited.
Berra would say, if you see a fork in the road, take it.
Yeah, love me some Yogi Berra. Terry, I have no idea whether we're almost done or whether we have more time to pass. We are done. All right,
we've been done for a while, so if you're listening on radio, check out the podcast.
Oh yeah, well, thank you so much for that, guys. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for your cigars. We love them, and we will be fans, influencing sales. I'm looking for them soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys take
Ian,
care.
I hope you enjoyed this barley wine, my friend.
I am enjoying this barley wine.
And have a great week, everybody. We will see you on next week's Smokin' and Toastin'. And until we meet you then, cheers, y'all.
It's alright when it's okay. Yeah, you never listen to what anybody else say.